मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणि विचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण. So we'll continue the discussion here. Uh, so here Devati, in spite of her all situations materially, such a successful situation, she still feels that she is going through suffering. And what is the suffering? The very famous shloka here that Devati says, seventh shloka, yeah. Nirvanna nidara bhuman asad indriya darshana yena sambhavyamanena prapannandam tamah prabhu. So this is a very famous shloka. I am sick of the disturbance caused by my material senses, for because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance. So this is what is her realization. And this is also tasyatvam tamato duspra. So in this shloka also, you are my transcendental eyes. Sat chakshur janmanam ante. So she accepts Kapil Dev as her eyes. And then she asks, no, how can I come out of this delusion? Dispel my delusion, she asks. So this we have discussed very elaborately. What is the delusion? How we are caught up there? And then we have seen Maitra is asking. Maitra is just explaining the situations. And in the Prabhupada says, Devati has surrendered her confession of matter entanglement and desire to gain release. And Prabhupada writes also this point, unless one is interested in understanding his spiritual life or his constitutional position, and unless he also feels inconvenience in material existence, his human form life is spoiled. And this is a very important thing for us also, that this is actually what happens. Unless one is interested in understanding his spiritual life or his constitutional position, unless he also feels inconvenience in mental existence, his human form life is spoiled. Now, many people consider their life successful. Not only them considering, many other people also they appreciate that how these people's life are successful. But according to our acharyas, that is not actually considered success. Even though material point of view it's a great success, but spiritual point of view it's not a success. According to our acharyas, it's not a success. And now here the answers from Lord Kapila they start. He says Sri Bhagavan Vacha Yoga Adhyatmika Pumsa Mata Mato Nishreyasayame Atyanto Ritairyatra Dukkasya cha Sukasya cha. And now Lord Kapila he start answering what Mother Devahuti has to say. So he says that the personality of God had answered. The yoga system which relates to the Lord and the individual soul, which is meant for the ultimate benefit of living entities, and which causes detachment from all happiness and distress in the material world, is the highest yoga system. He didn't tell what it is. First is glory. So before telling what is the system, is trying to glorify. He says which, so what are the things he is glorifying here? Which relates to the Lord and the individual soul, which is meant for the ultimate uh, this is the glorification, this is the highest yoga. Now Prabhupada says in the material world, everyone is trying to get material happiness. There is also material distress. This is a very important point. We always have to analyze this. What happens is we don't see the other side. We only see material happiness of people. So we only see this part. But there is another side also. As soon as we get some material happiness, there is also material distress. This is not seen by people. We only calculate that, oh, he got so much success, he got so much this, he got so much that, new saree, new jewelry, new car, new house, new this, new this. As soon as we get it, there is material distress. This is now, should we believe our intelligence or should we believe in the intelligence of Prabhupada? Should believe in the intelligence of Prabhupada. Our mind is cheating. We don't want to accept it. But reality is, this is the reality. Prabhupada has some very valuable things to share. We have to accept them instead of accepting our intelligence. And one more important thing is Prabhupada is not cheating. He is not a person who cheats. So that is also another thing for us. So in the material world, we cannot have unadulterated happiness. Should I believe Prabhupada or not? Yes. Okay. And any kind of happiness one has is contaminated by distress also. For example, Prabhupada says, if you want to drink milk, then we have to bother to maintain a cow and keep her fit to supply milk. Now you say, oh, why we need a milk cow now? We just purchase from the market. No, no need of that distress. But we have another distress to go to the shop. We say, okay, we will call to the home. We can just online order. Payment also for it. You have to work for getting that money. So there are so many other things connected. Drinking milk is very nice. It is also pleasure. But for the sake of drinking milk, one has to accept so much trouble. The Yoga system, as he has stated by Lord, is meant to end all material happiness and material distress. The best yoga that is taught as taught in Bhagavad Gita is Bhakti Yoga. Is also mentioned in Gita that one should try to tolerate and not be disturbed by material happiness and distress. Tamasya Bharata, tolerate. Of course, one may say that he is not disturbed by material happiness, but he does not know that just after one enjoys so-called material happiness, distress will follow. This is compulsory. This is not, this is how the system of Lord is made. We may not see these things, but the more we have enjoyed, more we have to pay for it. More we have damaged our mind. That's why there is problem. This is the law of metal world. Lord Kapana states that the yoga system is a science of spirit. One part practices yoga in order to attain perfection on the spiritual platform. There is no question of mental happiness or distress. It is transcendental. Lord Kapila will eventually explain how it is transcendental, but the preliminary introduction is given here. And he says, Tam imam te pravakshami yam avacham puranage rishinam sotu kamanam yogam sarvanga nipunam. O most pious mother, I shall now explain unto you the ancient yoga system which I explained formally to great sages. It is serviceable and practical in every way. So now again he is glorifying. He said previously that this is the best system. And second, now what he is telling that this is what I explained also. That means in previous incarnations. Very practical way. So before telling, na, he is motivating Devahuti. He is giving the glories of what he is going to speak. So this is what I am going to tell, which is very special, which is the best one, which I already told to great sages, and now I'm going to tell you like that. And Prabhupada says that Lord does not manufacture a new system of yoga. Sometimes it is claimed that someone has become an incarnation of God and is expounding a new theological aspect of absolute truth. But here we find that although Kapila Muni is the Lord himself and is capable of manufacturing a new doctrine for his mother, he nevertheless says, I just explain the ancient science which I once explained to great sages because they were all anxious to hear about it. Now, here, one important thing is everybody says that our way of living and uh, our way of doing things is right. Ours is the best way, and we are only going to get salvation. Like in Christianity, there are 600 sects. If you go to any of the sect, they'll say we are the chosen one and we are going to get perfection. Remaining all, there is no guarantee. And in Islam, there are almost 60. And everybody says others are kafirs and we are the only one. And then no need not to mention about Hinduism. Now, how do we know which is the right one then? Everybody says they are right. We are also Hare Krishnas also. We don't say we are right, but we know that no, we are right. So, how do we know which is right? So, this is we should first understand that all these philosophies which are going around, they are all eternal ones. See, living entity has no certain tendencies. Based on certain tendencies, there are certain philosophies. So this is all basically our way of understanding this world or interacting with world. All the philosophy. There is karma, jnana, and bhakti. All the philosophies na they come the combination of these three things only. Karma, jnana. These are the tendencies of the living entities. We all have karma tendencies. What is karma tendency? This is connected to our senses and mind. And this is connected to intelligence, buddhi. And this is connected to chitta, heart. Now, like there is a tendency to, this karma tendency is what? There is a tendency to enjoy in this world. Right? We have the karma tendency. That means all the fruitive mentality. So this fruitive mentality is actually karma tendency. That means what profit I get, how will I enjoy, how will I satisfy my mind, how will I satisfy my senses. All this is a fruitive mentality. This is everywhere there. Like anything we do, we will just find out what profit I get. This is how do I get benefited from it. And this is also artha pravritti we can say. And then there is mentality to get liberated. Get liberated is actually artha pravritti, and then there is sorry, sukha pravritti, not artha pravritti. This is sukha pravritti and dukkha nivritti. Sukha pravritti and dukkha nivritti. So people they have these two tendencies. They want to get out of the sufferings and they want to enjoy more. Enjoy more is karma tendencies. Get out of suffering is jnana tendencies. And all the philosophies na, they manufacture from this. But there is one more important thing, that is what is selfless service. So this is actually connected to soul, chitta only. So this tendency is actually bhakti tendency. And now any philosophers, the philosophers that people manufacture, they come with either jnana or karma or mixture, and then they mix some bhakti also, and it's a combination of all these three things. So and they create and they think they are creating something new, but it's not new only. It's this is a combination. That's all. Here, when we have a super excellent process already present in various scriptures, there is no need to concoct a new system to mislead the innocent public. At present, it has become a fashion to reject the standard system and present something bogus in the name of newly invented process of yoga. So what they do, they combine little karma, little jnana, little bhakti, make their own system, and they say, yes, we have created some new system. No, it's bogus. That's what Prabhupada is feeling. चेतः कल्व अस्य भक्त्याय मुक्तये चात्मनो मम sorry मतं गुणेषु सक्तं बन्धाय रतं वा पुंसि मुक्तये. They say the stage in which the consciousness of living entity is attracted to the three modes of natal nature is called conditioned life. But when that same consciousness is attached to Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is situated in the consciousness of liberation. This is very important. What happens now? Our mind, it is affected by three modes. Our mind, if you want to know what is mind made of, we can use this as what is mind made of. What are the ingredients of mind? If you want to know, then we can say this as the ingredients of mind. So if you get the question, so this is made of sattva, rajas, and tamas. So this is the energies that our mind is made of. That's all. Very simple. So now, if you want to change the mind, then what we have to do? Change the ingredients. If you want mind to be in tamoguna, then give more tamoguna items. If you want mind in rajas, give more rajas. If you want mind in sattva, give sattva. Now, what benefit from each mode? If tamas is there, mind is always unhappy. If rajas is there, mind is still unhappy. In sattva, it is peaceful and it's very happy. Because of peace, we get happiness. Shantasya kutasya Krishna. Without peace, no happiness. Right? Now, what I want to give will shape my mind. That's why here it is said the living entity is attracted with three modes of material nature is called conditioned life. So this attraction is from where? Attraction of mind. It's technical, but it's like that only. So here there is a distinction here between Krishna consciousness and Maya consciousness. Guneshu or Maya consciousness involves attachment to the three material modes of nature, under which one works sometimes in goodness and and knowledge, sometimes in passion and sometimes in ignorance. These different qualitative activities with the central attachment for material enjoyment are the cause of one's conditional life. So with the same Cheta, the consciousness is transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, or when one becomes Krishna conscious, is the path of liberation. So attraction is of mind only. Mind is getting attracted. So the question is, at what stage one lives even happiness and knowledge, which is in the mode of goodness. Like if a person he is practicing bhakti, then after certain stage he will not be interested in any knowledge. He will work with his heart. That's actually what happens. And after maybe Richi Asakti stage, one may give up this. Bhava and Prema, there is no question of uh, knowledge. They are just going with heart. So maybe at the stage of when he is getting his heart to Krishna, at Bhava stage, maybe person will not be interested in any of this knowledge. But for us, we need now to come to moral goodness. Yeah, at the level of Bhava and Prema, he may not need knowledge anymore. So next question is Aham mamabhimanottai kamalobhadibhirmalai vitam yadamana suddham adhyukam asukham samam. When one is completely cleansed of the impurities of lust and greed produced from false identification of body as I and bodily possessions of mind, one's mind becomes purified. In that pure state is transcendental, sorry, he transcends the stage of so-called material happiness and distress. And the question is now also we want to work with heart only, na Prabhuji. So the point is now we are affected. Our mind is not, here this also says, our mind or this translation says the false identification of the body as I and bodily position of mind. So this is still there. So the impurity in the mind is still there for us. But once mind becomes purified, in that state, it transcends the stage of so called happiness and distress. So now we are affected by this because we have this wrong identification. That is the greatest problem which we are having now. As long as we identify, we have to pay for it. That is the contamination of mind because it is affected by three modes. This identification is wrong. Our action is with heart, but the point I understood, the action is with heart, but it is contaminated. It should be a pure level. It should be heart in the sense I mean is pure love. Now it is very mixed love. It is contaminated with selfishness. It is not pure love. That's why it is, even though it is, we are putting our heart into it, that is actually the way to do also. And now activities what we are doing, we should do with our heart so that we get our heart becomes more and more purified. The absorption will help us. The mind is getting purified because it is connecting to the supreme. That's why it is getting purified. So here Prabhupada is writing, Kama and Lobha are the symptoms of material existence. So here two things, putting heart, I'll just write here, or putting we are putting our heart and doing. So in these two things, one is now presently even people who are doing material activities also, no, they engage their heart and do it. but it is impure heart. This is filled with selfishness. But when we are doing our sadhana and then putting our heart, then heart is getting purified. It is no more selfless, no more selfish. It is selfless. So that is the time when love is manifested in the selfless heart. It is love. So at that stage, when we are doing, then we don't need knowledge. We are doing with heart like that. So this is a great difference is there. So there is a question here. Proji, intelligence also has limited because we are conditioned souls. But Proji, what happens to intelligence when we are at Ruchi or Bhava emotions? Will lead bhakti and service have then how intelligence transforms with limitations? What intelligence is needed, na Krishna gives. He can give unlimited intelligence also. Whatever is needed for us to understand Krishna and perform bhakti, that much intelligence we can get. Krishna can supply unlimited, whatever we need. Like somebody's intelligence is very less. He cannot think more than his house level. Somebody's intelligence is very high. They can think about whole country also. So who gave that intelligence? Krishna is giving. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna says, I give that. Whatever is needed, Krishna supplies. So that's not a problem only. About the quantity and amount and other things, Krishna is happily supplying. Only thing is we should accept it and be happy. So here, what we are doing, na Cheto Darpana Marjanam is actually cleaning the heart only. When we say Shikshashtakam, this Cheta, Chitta, so cleansing of this Chitta is actually, this Chitta means here it is heart only for us. You're understanding? So when we clean this, then we have selfless heart and that produces love. And at this level, we don't need any knowledge to do. We are doing with heart. So now it is actually impure heart, it is all selfishness. So this is a great difference. Okay. Now Prabhupada writes very nice purport. He says Kama and Lobha are the symptoms of material existence. Everyone always desires to possess something. So this is Kama. Everyone is desiring. Even brahmacharis also, we always have desire to possess something. It is said here that desire and greed are the products of false identification of oneself with God. When one becomes, we want to possess more and more lectures, or we want to fill our hard disk. So that is also a possession only, right? It may not be very gross. You cannot need things, but you need some books, purchase more and more books, and download more and more lectures. So that is also one type of position. So that is also kama and lobha only. When one becomes free from when one becomes free from the contamination, then his mind and consciousness also becomes free and attain their original state. So original state is called swastha. If you ask anybody how is your health, so what do you ask in Hindi? आपका स्वास्थ्य कैसा है? Telugu also or any other Indian languages, you call swasth. Swasth means to be situated in the self. This is called swasth. So when then this mind and consciousness become free and attain original state, he's a healthy state. And consciousness and living in of the and the living entity exists mind, consciousness, living entity. Whenever we speak of living entity, this include mind and consciousness. Two different things are mind and consciousness. So when we say Ashtanga Pranam or Panchanga Pranam, The last two ingredients, six are the bodily parts which touch the ground, and two more things that are to be offered in front of Lord or deities is mind and consciousness. For Matajis, it is three parts of the body: their elbow, knees, and forehead. Three should touch. Apart from that, their mind and consciousness. And for us men, it is no, knees and belly, and then chest, and then elbows and head, and then we have mind and consciousness. So that is eight. This is Ashtanga and Panchanga. But here there are two things that are important. That is, mind and consciousness need to be offered. They are put different things. Mind includes our thought process, and consciousness includes our heart. Like that. The difference between conditioned life and liberated life occurs when we purify the mind and consciousness. So, what is the difference between the conditioned life and liberated life? When the mind and consciousness, when they are purified, one becomes transcendental to material happiness and distress. When they are purified, one becomes transcendental. In the beginning, Lord Kapila has said, now he did not start the process. He is now telling the results of the process. He glorified the process first. Now he is telling what results one will attain. So in this shloka, if you see, he is telling in the previous shloka, one is situated in transcendental consciousness liberation. Now he is telling, in this shloka, he is telling what is the cause of that bondage. He did not tell the process now also. He is telling the cause of bondage. He's telling that in the beginning, Lord Kapila has said that the perfect yoga enables one to transcend the platform material distress and happiness. How this can be done is explained here. One has to purify his mind and consciousness because that is the cause of bondage. No? So both things to be purified. Mind is purified by 10 methods and consciousness is purified when mind is purified. This can be done by Bhakti Yoga system. As explained in the Narada Pancharatra, one's mind and senses should be purified. Tat pratavena nirmala. Sorry, tat pavitrena paratvena nirmala. Tat paratvena nirmala. Yes. One's senses must be engaged in devotional service to Lord. That is the process. The mind must have some engagement. One cannot make the mind vacuum. Of course, there are some foolish attempts to try to make mind vacuum or void. If he engages his mind in Krishna, naturally the consciousness becomes fully purified. So next look is Tada Purusha Atmanam Kevalam Prakrite Param Narantaram Swayam Jyotir Animanam Panditam. Okay. Suvidya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Then
So Prabhuji, I have questions. I thought before you proceed further, I'll ask for this one. So one is about the mind, you say, right? It's made of the three gunas. So what about the mind when our consciousness is in Shuddha Sattva?
okay. So, that time, Mataji, it is a spiritual mind. It is purified. It's completely like you have heart. You need some thought process also. You have certain desires. So you have heart also, but you have certain desires to, like Yashodamai, she wanted to serve Krishna in a particular way, and that's all spiritual. It is nothing material that time.
Okay. So which
So
means Shuddha Sattva is also a component of the mind, right? So like, but when we act on it, we can go to that mode. Is that way we understand it, Prabhuji?
yes, we get access for it. Now it is all these things which we have, the senses and all. Now we don't. We are just born, but the senses are there in their in a spiritual realm also, but it is in a purified way.
Okay.
Now what
And
happened is we are
Prabhuji,
covered now. That's all.
okay. So Prabhuji, in our sadhana also sometimes, our sadhana is very sincere and, we sincerely do seva. So at that time, can we say the mind is in Shuddha Sattva and when our sadhana is not proper or when we are entangled, engaged in some material activity, wantedly, then can we say that it goes back to the either of these three gunas? Is that possible with the same mind?
Now our mind is in gunas only, mother. It's not in Shuddha Sattva. Now because na Sattva guna we
Okay.
can do our sadhana nicely. When we are Rajoguna, our sadhana goes down. So whenever our sadhana is good, we can say mind is in Sattva.
Okay.
So
So
we are
even
affected by
the which means
moods.
okay, so the nine angas of bhakti when we are performing also, so we are performing in the platform of sattva only. That's how we understand it, right?
We are doing our
Okay.
desire is transcendental, but body and mind are material only.
Okay.
Our desire
Okay.
is
So
transcendental desire. We want to serve Krishna and please Krishna, develop love. So the desire is transcendental, but we are not transcendental. We are affected
okay.
by modes
Okay.
only.
So which means that when the transformation happens completely to Shuddha Sattva, so there is no question of coming back to the lower modes, right,
No, no,
Prabhuji?
no, no. Once we
Oh,
transcend,
oh,
then there is no question. Well, for us now, it is affected
okay.
by modes. So slowly, slowly, of course, what happens is the effects of mode reduces on us slowly, slowly. Once we are coming after the stage of Nishtha, the effect is reducing.
Mm-hmm.
Now effect is there, the effect reduces, more we come to sattva. So we remain more on sattva, sattva, sattva. Then if then what happens is the effects of tamo and rajo is more reducing. We continue to remain on sattva, then we transcend.
Okay. That's a
So
nice
now at
point.
least we have to maintain sattva for long time. Then it becomes easy for us to transcend because it's like a runway. Your sattva is runway, then you fly.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Thank you. It's very nice. And one more, Chabri, is there time for one more question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Prabhuji, the previous verse, right, where Prabhupada mentioning that one should the only when one comes out of kama and loba, that one can be situated in one's own position, right, which is sort of detachment, right? One should be detached from the material entanglement, all this. So, like Prabhuji, we see some sect of people or some religion, like in a very young age, they sorry, Hare Krishna. So in a very young age, they take diksha, they get detached from the material this one. So can we say that they are trying to get situated in that this one of being known, known by oneself, who's he, or trying to be situated in self, even without the practice of bhakti or without recognizing the shastras
There might have
or
practiced some
anything.
previous life, Mataji. It's not that by chance it is happening. It may be
Mm.
something which I have done in previous. Nothing happens by chance. Like say we have practiced so many years this life and we are going for next life, then we will continue from there. Na? So it's not that we will continue from there. So suddenly somebody comes, a small boy is speaking about Bhagavatam very nicely. We think, wow, get a devotee. No, he just continue. He's a fallen yogi, or of course, for devotee is not fallen yogi, but we just continue from the previous lives.
Okay. Okay. So which means for even if you are not following the Vedic scriptures, and if you once one is able to detach themselves or trying to detach themselves from material entanglements, so that is also considered to be previous birth's continuation, right?
Actually, what happens is like previous life, he might have got very bad experience of material happiness. He may get detached. Like some people who got very bad experience without any spiritual practice also. Wife ditched him and children left him and he is alone and he lost his business, his no job, nothing. And now everybody abandoned. He has to stay alone, very diseased body, this, that. He some people really develop some sort of detachment. So like
Mm.
then this is no, I don't want any of these things. Like that, when he is born in next life, then from childhood only he is in that state of mind. I don't want any of these things. So it's not that any,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
there is possibility like that. Of course, some spiritual intelligence is needed to get that realization also. We don't deny. Not just
Right.
because of distress, people will get realization. That is not true. Some
Mm.
spiritual knowledge will help him to get that realization also.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And then later, when they were fortunate to come in contact with devotees, then they can become a very good devotees, right? They have
This
good
yes,
scope.
because these all Mayavadis, na, they also are detached. They are more detached than us also. They have more, they are
Mm-hmm.
very determined, they are very detached,
Yes. Yeah.
they work very
Mm.
hard to gain knowledge, they do severe austerity to get out of this material world. Everything they do, and they do maybe 10 times more, 100 times more than devotee also. But there is some problem with that because the heart, na, their heart is
Right.
still selfish. So that's why they don't achieve the real thing.
Selfish. Yes.
Otherwise, if they see they are much more
Mm.
advanced in that area than us, but because the
Yes.
heart is still selfish,
Yes.
we get a more
Mm.
superior position than them. But detachment,
Thank
and
you
this
very
is
much,
not actually
Prabhuji.
the criteria only for bhakti.
Yeah. But some level of, as you were giving the example of, Prabhupada also writing here, like one is possessive of one's possession, and you were also giving example, even brahmacharis have this one of possession of books, all this. At least that, I mean, some sort of detachment is needed, right? That's why Jnana Yoga, and also Krishna has also given Jnana Yoga,
It
right?
is
In terms of,
byproduct,
so
Mataji.
without,
No need of separately cultivating. Like I say, now tomorrow, yesterday was Radhashtami for us. Now, because we want to please Radharani, we want to serve her, we automatically left, we did fasting for it. So now the
mm,
fasting, we did not do like, no, okay, I will try to control my hunger and no bodily this thing. That was not our mood when we are fasting for her. We want to please her. We want to do whole day kirtan. We want to hold a chant. We want to hold a serve her. Automatically,
mm,
the detachment came for us from food and other things. We did not separately do it, right?
okay, yeah, yeah. So the
So
focus
our
is on
process
devotional
is
service.
different.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Got it, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
So we don't separately do any of the things. We only
Okay.
focus what will please Krishna, what will please Krishna, what will please Krishna. Every time we are in that focus only. Let me do something to please Krishna. What did I do today to please Krishna? What did I learn about Krishna today? What did I hear about Krishna today? So every day, like yesterday, I was telling, okay, this is a gift for Radharani for us this year. What is the gift? Every day I should learn something about Krishna. Not even single day should go without learning about Krishna. So in that way, with buddhi we are serving Krishna.
Right.
And with our mind we serve Krishna. With buddhi we serve Krishna. With senses we serve Krishna. So we always want to get connected to Krishna in that way and please him. So that is our method. And then other things are byproducts. Whatever Krishna wants, whenever he wants, whatever way he wants, let him do it. So we are focusing on him, and then Krishna will do the needful for us. That is our formula. We are
Yeah.
quite lazy in that.
Nice point, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the nice explanation. Thank you.
Hare Bahulika bro.
Namaskaram, Prabhuji. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Since you spoke about yesterday, it was Radha Ashtami. So I happened to visit ISKCON Secunderabad. And I have immense love for Krishna and Radha. So I was just in the Kirtan Bhajan. So on the sideline, I see a lot of people are moving ahead. So I work in a function that, I'm very disciplined. Like, I go in a line, I preach the Lord in the way that it has to happen. But I often see people very scattered and like, pushing each other. So that kind of really disturbed me in a way, like, is this the way to attain Krishna, to like, disturb others sadhana who came for preaching Lord without any ulterior motives, and others they just come in the sense to like, I noticed. I'm sorry, I have noticed that they come just to please, and I see like, it was all superficial bhakti around me. I don't see that, they're doing it with their consciousness, that they want to do it from their heart. I've always seen like, they're scared of something. That's why they want to like redeem themselves to say that, I've done this, I've done that. So I often get confused, like there are the only way to preach him is bhakti yoga, and in this bhakti yoga I see segments of people, fragments of them showing bhakti. How is it right that I always question myself, how is it right and how will they preach Lord Krishna in this way? I'm sorry if I've hurt anyone's feelings over
No,
here.
no. But you asked a very genuine question. And what we need to understand, Mataji, this type of disturbance we will find everywhere.
True.
If we go to a
Absolutely.
university, there will be some very sincere students who come for studying. There will be some children, students who will be coming just to do time pass. Now, if I want to progress, I have to focus on the students who are very sincere and try to associate with them and try to make a progress instead of looking at students who are going for drugs and going and doing some mischief activities and all.
Hmm.
So this type of things will be everywhere. It's based on our sincerity, how much I want to make a progress and I'll make a choice. Now in that also, in that 100 people crowd or 200, 300, whoever came, in that you will at least find 5, 10 people who are very sincere and genuine, and they are our own, they are the people whom we need to focus on. And they are the inspiration for us, and behind them we go and make our progress. So that is our sincere. So Krishna, na, he will always test us where we are looking. If I am looking towards Krishna, then I will find sincere people. And what Maya does, Maya sends these people to distract us from looking at Krishna. Instead of looking
Awesome.
at Krishna, we get distracted with it. So we have to be careful, even in spiritual path, till we attain Krishna, Maya is always trying to send some disturbances to distract us from going towards Krishna. So we have to just identify who are sincere and make progress.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Radha Jyoti Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय अच्छी बंद कर हम जरा 2 मिनट हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिल प्रभुपाद की जय प्रभु जी I have a question when you mentioned about the mind the 10 methods to purify so you have not given the description Prabhu ji I wanted to know about that and I'm sorry that I'm firing questions because I'm getting answers. And there is one question, Prabhuji, that the mind is born out of Rajogun. No? So we in Bhagavad Gita it is said that mind will be in passion mode. And then how there will be a transient in the spiritual realm because will this happen that when we'll be transient, then all the mind actions will be only and only for Lord Krishna, and that will be in the passion mode. So we will be doing continuously activities, or we'll be planning and we'll be utilizing all our skills and our everything what we have as an skill set. So is my understanding correct, Prabhuji?
Here, the 10 things, I didn't take that because that's a different subject. The 10 things that are affecting our mind is the scriptures we are reading, the water we are having, the association we take, and the mantra we are chanting, the place we are staying, the time of the day, and the process we are doing, the work we are doing. So, like that, there are 10 things which are there in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam. And then the next thing about mind is like, no, our understanding of mind. It's a only, which is Mahatattva and all. It's a transformation of spiritual energy. It transforms into gross and gross and gross. Like from sky comes the air, and from there it comes the fire. From them it comes the water. From it comes air. That means the subtler things become more and more gross. And actually, from the spiritual realm only it starts. So the mind which we are getting, if you take it back, make it more subtler, then it becomes into a spiritual realm only. It becomes in a chit potency. So in that way, our mind is going to, like, even the chitta which we have, it's a pure sattva, it's mahatattva only. So the transformation is like what we are getting our mind and all, but in a pure level, it is mahatattva, it's pure. And then furthermore, it is much more purer. And then it's what is our spiritual realm. We'll be able to serve Krishna in that level. I hear so much sound distractions. Did I understand you right, Mataji? You got the answer for your question?
Prabhuji, the first sentence I missed, Prabhuji. What you explained, it's coming from the spiritual realm, then you were not, I was not able to hear you.
Okay,
The
my
first two
point
lines.
is that whatever the ingredients that the transformations that is happening, say earth is because of water. From water comes air. From fire comes water. From air comes fire. And more subtle is sky. And more subtler which is having is this false ego, this mahatattva in false ego, and then mahatattva in a pure state. And that is a transformation of the chit potency only. So that is the transformation. So more and more we go, more purified, it becomes more subtler. So the mind which we are having, the chitta, it is mahatattva only. So the mahatattva, some part of mahatattva is the chitta which we have. So if you make it pure, then it's actually in a spiritual realm. That is chit potency. So in that way, our mind is very pure. Now, presently, what we call mind, it's actually unconscious. It's unconscious mind. So unconscious mind is chitta only. So it's a pure state of chitta. That's what we are trying to do. Cheto darpana marjan is we are purifying our chitta only, which we call mind also. So that is in a pure state. When you make it purified, then that is in a spiritual realm. So we serve Krishna in that with the help of our pure chitta. It's like that.
Yes, Prabhuji, I understood this, but my question was, so it is doing some activities in material mode right now in condition mode, and when
Ah,
it will transit, it will do all the activities, but in spiritual mode, isn't it?
yeah,
It will
yeah.
be purified, but the do action of the mind, which is its nature, it will not it will not get rid of. Means we'll be doing the activities as we are doing right now, but it will transit and it will do for the Lord, isn't it? Right now we are serving ourselves, but when we'll transit, we'll serve 100%. Means there'll be no tinge of material thing. It will be 100% spiritual, but we'll be doing that actions for the Lord, isn't it, Prabhu? That is how we'll be transit, isn't it?
Ha, 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 ha. So now what happens is, now we are trying to serve Krishna, but we are affected by modes. Our mind is affected by modes, body is affected by modes. But slowly, slowly, when we are getting purified, the action may not change, but the consciousness will definitely change. Action will be same, but consciousness will definitely change. And like a pure devotee is also sitting and is also chanting like great Babajis and all. And we are also chanting. Activity didn't change. But what changed is consciousness. Clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, you mentioned one more point. You said, uh, no, the previous Prabhuji, he mentioned about the spiritual greed. So, so what are the symptoms that we will understand that, oh, there is some spiritual greed in us? Because it's our nature. We are at that constitutional position, isn't it? Means if we are purified, we will have that spiritual greed. It's by default. But now we are conditioned mode. We don't have that spiritual greed. But I want to understand what are the symptoms of that spiritual greed. Because once I have that spiritual greed, then it will be easier for me to have that higher taste, isn't it? Because once there is a greed, then we will try to grab it, or will do some intense intense desire to, okay, we want that. So how that will happen, or what are the symptoms?
We will be able to get that, Mataji, when we are associating with somebody who is having that greed. Of course, the symptoms of Nishta and symptom of bhava. Basically, symptoms of nishta are, if you just nishta, we can know that okay, some extent there is some greed. So there is abhyartha khalatvam, asha banda, samatkanta, no namagani sudaruchi. So there are certain symptoms that will help us to understand. Okay, these are the symptoms I have at the stage of nishta and the stage of bhava and the stage of prayer. There are three different symptoms that are explained by Rupa Goswami. If you go through it, these are the symptoms we can know. Okay, these are the things I have greed or not. And main way to get greed is to hear from devotees who have greed. Associate with devotees who have greed for Krishna. That is the way to develop. If you have or not have does not matter now. If you want them now, you have to hear from devotees who have that greed. Associate with them. So we'll also easily develop. That is the best way to develop. Okay, Mataji. There's something in chat box. Can we regulated life? Can we okay. Thank you very much. I took a little more time. We'll continue this discussion tomorrow. Thank you very much, Grantraj, Srimad.